We're in here today. We're back with another video. Now in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys the best loadouts for the Insight Terminus Grandmaster. Now this upcoming week, which is February, or not February, April, I still can't get my April 20th through April 27th, which is also the week of Guardian games, is going to be the Nightfall Ordeal, is going to be the Insight Terminus. So I thought, why not just show the best loadouts for the Grandmaster? But since we're coming to an end of the season, you can pick any Grandmaster now. But I'm still going to be doing every video for every Grandmaster to try and help you guys complete every Grandmaster to get your Gilded Conqueror seal. Let's get right into it. So let's just go over the Nightfall a little bit. So the Nightfall actually is one of the very few Nightfalls that has all three types of shields, which means they have an arc shield. Some ads have arc shields, some ads have solar shields, and some ads have void shields. Now what that means is that you're going to need, for an arc shield, you're going to take out an arc weapon. For a void weapon, you're going to take out a void weapon. And then for solar, and so on. Which means throughout your your fire team, which is 3 people, you're going to have at least one elemental, so you can at least take out those shields, whether it be a subclass weapon like your super, or a grenade, to it being a heavy or a special weapon. So for my Titan, let's start off with the Titan. Let's go over the mods, which will take the most amount of time. Obviously, through every video, you want to, I always say this, but put ammo finder on, your resistances, and scavengers on, and I'll go into more detail about the resistances in a minute. But one of the biggest questions I get is which are the best exotics you want to use. Now you can go 2 ways with a Titan. You can either go with the Ursa Ferosa with the Middle Tree Sentinel, or you can go with Middle Tree or Thunder Crash with the Falling Star and having someone run stasis. Now obviously I like running Banner Shield because you can just keep trading Banner Shields with your teammates, and it's very simple to do. So once you have your weapon ammo finders on, put your exotic on, and make sure you have Unstoppable Pulse, an anti-barrier sniper rifle, or anti-barrier, an unstoppable weapon, because those are the 2 champions in the Nightfall, or Unstoppable and anti-barrier. You don't have to worry about overload, so that's very good. Next, you want to put arc resistance and sniper damage resistance. There are some Scion snipers, and then there's also a lot of arc damage coming in from the Vex, and sometimes the Cabal. But I'm pretty sure is a bit small part with the Fallen, but they shouldn't have to bother you. But mostly it's going to be Vex and Cabal. So make sure you have those resistance on. After that, you want to put your scavengers on. I love watching people use traction, but honestly, in a Grandmaster, traction isn't going to do the slightest in you. You really want to have scavengers for both your good weapons. So since I'm using Anarchy and a sniper, I want to have those scavengers on. And after that, you can really put anything in this slot right here. It really depends on your loadout. So if you're using Divinity on your Titan, which I don't really recommend, since the Titan is a very attackive or offensive kind of character. Has a lot of good DPS or protecting type of supers. So you really want to use Thunder and Glare if you do end up using that, but I highly suggest not using that. And then obviously on your Ghost, you can put whatever you want. I put Prosperity Vanguard on so I can get an extra drop of the weapon if you're lucky enough. But let's go over the super real quickly. Obviously you want to have Middle Tree with the Ferosa. Jump doesn't really matter. Really, it comes down to preference. You want to have Tyrant Barricade on, and Void Wall I find the best, but if you're really good at Magnetic or you're really good at throwing suppressors, by all means. But I really like the Void Wall because they can keep walking into the Void Wall and keep getting damage. Both of these are just a few seconds and they do a few tiny bit of damage, but this can do a long duration of damage. So yeah, that's the Titan. Let's go to the Hunter. And alright, we're back on our Hunter now. So let's look at the loadout I chose, or again guys, this is just a suggestion type videos. You don't have to use my exact loadouts, but I find these loadouts the best. So these are highly suggested, but you know, you don't have to listen to me. But one of the best loadouts I chose is this one. Is a really heavy sniper rifle pulse type Nightfall. You don't really want to get close ads in Grandmaster, so it's always nice to have a pulse. And like I said earlier in the video, it has all 3 types, so I have a different type pulse. If you saw on my Titan, I had a arc pulse. Now I have a solar pulse. I have a rocket launcher and Izanagi, and Izanagi paired up with high energy fire is very good. If you don't know what high energy fire is, that while you're charged with light, you gain bonus damage, weapon damage. So if you have a lot of taking charge or shield break charge, there's gonna be a lot of shields because it has extra shield perk on the Nightfall. So make sure you want to have that. So so you can keep your charge of light up during the entire strike and keep doing that really good DPS. You want to run Bottom Tree Night Stalker. Again, jumps are optional, up to you. You really want to run the Bottom Tree Gambler's Dodge. I will tell you that in a second. And best nades I find for this Nightfall are Vortex or Void Wall. Spikes are never a really good idea in PvE because the ads should just walk away from it. Or you really gotta be precise with your spike grenades. But if you're really good with them, go for it. But with Gambler's Dodge, you really want to pair that with Sixth Coyote. That means when you dodge or you gain a second dodge. But when you dodge near an enemy right here, you get your smoke bomb back because it's bottom tree, and you can just keep throwing smoke bombs. You wouldn't really want to have your mobility up. I would get my mobility up higher. I have a lot of intellect and mobility or recovery mods on right now. But I would obviously get that higher if I was doing Grandmaster. I usually don't do Grandmasters on my Hunter because I'm not a big fan of it. But if you do end up using this loadout or with using Sixth Coyote, I highly suggest getting your mobility back because you can get your class ability cooldown lower to like I think 11 seconds. So that means you can get your Shade Snip every 11 seconds, and with 2 dodges, you can just keep spamming your smoke bombs. Also, if you don't have, I have to put Power Fronts on here because everything else. But if you have distribution, make sure you put this on because when you reduce all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near enemies. So that means when you dodge, all your class abilities, your nade, your smoke bomb, your dodges all get it reduces the cooldown for a little bit. I don't know exactly how long, but it reduces the cooldown just a little bit. So that's a really nice spike. Always use, also if you really want to use finishers, excuse me, that's fine, but I highly suggest not because your supers can come very handy. Like this one, there's gonna be a lot of ads in every room, so this one's a really good. Hunters are always good characters to do ad clearing supers, so make sure you run tether every time you do Grandmasters, unless you want to use stasis. Stasis is another good one, but I highly suggest not because you get a lot of, like, the super is good here, but the abilities and the super are good here, so I highly suggest using that. Let's go to our Warlock and see what's up there. And here we are in our final character, the Warlock. So the Warlock is a very easy setup. I didn't have a Void Pulse, but I do have a Void Hand Cannon. If you don't have a Void Pulse or whatever your team needs, always use a Hand Cannon. Never use an SMG in Grandmasters because you have to get pretty close to the ads to get really good hit registration. And that's just not a good idea, getting close to the ads in Grandmaster. I think it kind of speaks for itself. But for the super, I chose well, and that actually pairs up with our exotic, which I'll tell you in a minute. The Solar Grenade. Fusion nades aren't really that good. Firebolts aren't really that good either in PvE, so I highly suggest using Solar. Healing nades are always a must in Grandmaster, and Powering Rifts aren't really that helpful. Unless you have 2 Warlocks, then go ahead and pair each one person have healing, one person have empowering. Again, glides or the jumps are all preference. I personally like burst because I don't like Warlock jump at all. But if you use strafe, you just gotta double tap and you have like a really long time to stay in the air, but you can get melted, so I highly suggest not using strafe. But for our weapons, we are using Succession, Palindrome, and Anarchy, and I'll tell you why Anarchy in a minute. But for our helmet, we're using Sniper Rifle ammo finders. Always have your ammo finder on, guys. It's very important in Grandmasters. You don't want to run out of ammo on anything. Anything comes handy. You want to have your unstoppable and anti-barrier stuff on here. Then here in Phoenix Protocol. Now if you don't know what Phoenix Protocol does, is gain a super energy for kills and assists inside Well of Radiance. Now in the final boss room, you're going to have 3 transmat zones or panels to stand on, but during those panels there's going to be a lot of ads, so make sure you want to pop a well on those panels, and while you're getting kills you can get ready for your the next panel with a Well of Radiance, so you can just pop Well of Radiance on each one to ensure you get the capture and all your teammates stay alive during it. And then obviously during it we have void damage resistance, sniper rifle resistance, and taking charge. Under boots we have our scavengers, of course, and we have high energy fire. This one's pretty good with succession too. When you're using a sniper, try and have high energy fire on. It's not recommended, but it is highly it's optional, but it's highly recommended. That's what I meant to say. On here you can have whatever you really want. If you do end up using Sundering Glare or Resonance Siphon, or even Surge Detonators, I know some people like to use this, but there's no overload, so there's no point for this strike. But if you end up using Divinity, Warlocks are a very good one to use Divinity on. So Sundering Glare always when you're using Divinity. That's the highest thing I can recommend when using Divinity. You really want to have Sundering Glare on when you're using Divinity. Trust me, it helps a whole bunch. Obviously on our shells, I didn't see this on the Hunter last time, but make sure you have Prosperity Vanguard. I want to make sure you guys get the most amount of loot you possibly can. Try and get those God rolls, Palindrome, Swarm, or Shadow Prize, and all the depth versions too. But yeah, those are the 3 loadouts for the Insight Terminus. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Put on notifications because we're going to be doing videos for every Grandmaster like this. I already filmed the Devil's Lair one and the Warden's Nothing. We got the Insight Terminus one done. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out the Proving Grounds Strike one. I'll leave a description down, or a link down in the description below. And then I'll start recording for the other 2 Grandmasters. So enjoy the rest of your day or night. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.